nice to see some new faces here. The Cyber Gallery is an independent gallery that we use as part of the school, but it's a separate nonprofit. So we have a curatorial program where students learn to curate shows and help put shows together. And we also have a board of directors, and Nicole Sandbridge is on the board, and so is Tyler. And so one of the things we talked about is the different ways we can get shows together. And so we have students curate shows, or sometimes people will propose shows, and then I was thinking, well, it'd be interesting if we get some of our board members to curate shows. So I did, at one board meeting, suggest, Tyler, you do sculpture, why don't you curate a show on sculpture?
It was more sort of oblique than that. It was like, wouldn't it be nice if someone curated a sculpture show? And John looks over his shoulder like,
Oh, okay.
I don't even know what sculpture is. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, that's how, it's always been so interesting how shows start up. Like, it's just like this one idea and it gets bigger and bigger. All I knew was that Tyler said he wanted to do a show on food. And then, Christine, you had talked to me about applying to the Simon Gallery, and your work's beer cans, but well, maybe we could work that in. So it's a very kind of organic process. But I think for me, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Wendy Welch. I'm director of the Vancouver Island School of Art. And for me, it's really so great to have this as part of the school so that students could come and see the work of professional practicing artists and know that, you know, this is part of the world. So instead of just teaching art classes and sending people off into the world without understanding of the next process, it's been really valuable to have this gallery. So, and we don't have artist fees and the usual things that nonprofit galleries have yet. So we really are always so appreciative of the artists who are willing to take time to put their work in the gallery, and just for them to know that it's a great service to the students.
Particularly when it's heavy.
So it's been really a good process. And it was interesting, the thing I love about the curatorial process is that I came down, I think it was Wednesday. Wednesday is pretty close to Friday when you're doing a show, just so you know, and everything was still in boxes, and it's just really hard to believe it could become a show. Sorry. Okay.
no, we were on the same page.
Yeah, so I thought, okay. And then Thursday morning, it all looked so wonderful. Just
Wave the wand.
yeah, so it's really interesting to see. And then there's the process of doing a catalog the day of the show, which is
The afternoon.
getting everything together. So please do look at the catalog, and hopefully it's all right. But it's just part of what we do, and I love the fact that at the school and in the gallery we are able to do things at the last minute, because when you get involved in heavy bureaucracy, sometimes it would be impossible. Like if we were working at a big gallery, it would be impossible to do a catalog on the afternoon of the show. But this way, everything is always fresh at Visa and the Simon Gallery. So, and as I mentioned, Tyler is on the board of the Simon Gallery, and he's also a sculptor in Victoria and has done many public art projects. So I hand it over to you to talk about the work of the
Thanks.
show.
Actually, if you bear with me, I wanted to just read through the brief statement that I wrote for the catalog as a starting point, and then take that and talk about some of the works, or all the works in the show, and how they relate to each other. So, here we go. Buffet is 1, a room or counter where light meals or snacks can be bought. 2, a meal consisting of several dishes set out from which guests serve themselves. Close-up, dinner plate. Neri is moving his fork around the plate, molding the mashed potato into a little mountain. He decides it's not big enough. Abruptly, he scrapes all the other food onto the tablecloth. He helps himself to the mashed potatoes, heaping the rest of the contents of the serving bowl onto the plate before him. It's still not big enough. Reaching out, he scoops all the potato off his kids' plates, adding to his pile. Now, like a mad potter, he starts to knead the white mush into some kind of shape. And that was an excerpt from the script to Close Encounters of the Third Kind by Steven Spielberg, 1976. I suspect that everyone's played with their food in some way or another, although possibly not with the fervor shown by Richard Dreyfuss's character in Close Encounters. It is his obsession with his creation and his family's fear and confusion that make this seem so poignant. He is misunderstood, but we understand. When I was first asked to curate a sculpture show, I had a few simple objectives. I wanted to show work that represented a variety of approaches to sculpture, and I wanted some of the artists involved to have never shown at the Slide Room Gallery before. So what is the connection between sculpture and food? I think this show is about food in the same way that when the Talking Heads sing about buildings and television, the songs are about buildings and television, but so much more. During this process of making an object, it can be ingested, configured, adjusted, tested, cooked, sampled, rejected, embraced, reconfigured, and possibly celebrated. Artists' memories of projects are often about taste. The taste of the dust, glue, paint, clay, foam, wood, etc. This can be a positive and negative association, even an occupational hazard. The courses here are varied, from Italian marble to mass-produced beer cans. A conversation will begin as the meal progresses. This is a social act. We sample a bit from each, eat more of the ones we like, less of the ones we like less. History is present, tinged with humor, obsession, compulsion, production, sustenance, consumption, and decay. Fill your plates and come back for more. The reference to the conversational aspect of this work, I think, became more important as this show is being installed. In a way, it's like inviting a number of guests to your house for dinner with the idea that they have things in common and they might hit it off, but you're never quite sure until you get them all into the same room. And then you see how the conversations begin. And when, actually it was a Wednesday night, John and I were here. Accidentally, John was here and we were sort of moving work around. The conversations did begin. It was quite interesting to see how the work started to relate to each other. And I'm hoping that as you move through this show, you can hear those conversations and see how the works relate